In this demonstration, I'm going to show you one of the really cool features that was added to the NetBeans IDE 7.1. This new functionality is called shelving. It only applies to source files that are saved in Subversion or in Mercurial at this time. In a previous demonstration, I showed you how to upgrade the Apache Commons I/O project from JDK 5 to JDK 7. As part of that demonstration, we performed over 3,000 changes to the framework to upgrade it to JDK 7. If we decided that we wanted to go back and say, well, I'd like to undo those changes, but I would like to save them, so if I decide at a later date to go back and reapply them, that is what shelving is all about. So this is how we go about doing it. I will end up selecting the top level of the project, go to Team, and select Shelve Changes. This gives me an opportunity to give it a name. So I'm going to call this JDK 7 Upgrade. This will go through all of the files that we've changed, and it'll create one giant diff file that we can apply later. Also, as part of the process, it'll roll back all of the changes that we had created. So as you can see in the window below, it's reverting all of the files that we've changed after it created the JDK 7 upgrade patch. Once it finishes, it's going to go back and it's going to scan the project. As you can see in this window, though, we have a giant patch file which contains over 3,000 changes. And in the lower window, we can see that they were rolled back on the original project. At this point, we have the basic project as it was downloaded from the Apache site. Now, at this point, we can say either we leave the changes as they are, but that wouldn't be a complete demonstration. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to reapply all of these changes back to the project. So I go back to Team, and I select Shelve Changes, and I unshelve those changes. Now it'll go back and reapply this patch that we created to all of the files. The patching process in NetBeans is very, very easy to use, and as you can see, our giant patch file is already applied. At this point, it gives us the opportunity, once the patches are applied, to view all of those changes. And by default, it has the Yes button selected. I am actually going to select No, and here's why. If I selected Yes, it would open up a diff page for every file that we have changed. And that would be a lot of open windows. So I'm just simply going to avoid it and just say no. If you wanted to actually take a look at the files and see what those changes were, you'd simply select yes. At this point, we have undone all of our changes, created a patch, gone back and reapplied all of our changes via patch. And while we're waiting for the IDE to catch up, I can open up one of the files that I know was changed, and we can verify that it does show changes now. And it does. As you can see, the import was changed. Later we can come down and we can see that the serial version UID was changed as well. That concludes this demonstration of the Shelve and Un-Shelve capabilities in NetBeans IDE 7.1. Thank you for your time.